What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Rob McCracken. Rob McCracken states that Kubrat Pulev is next in line. Then after that, a big fight with Anthony Joshua, or should I say against Anthony Joshua. And this was a very informative interview with Rob McCracken. He reflected on New York, and everything involving that briefly. Joshua lost. Of course, we know he lost June the 1st, June the 2nd. He had already made up his mind to fight the rematch. And really publicly, Anthony Joshua already said he wanted the rematch right away. He doesn't do tune-ups. He doesn't do easy touches. And that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted the rematch against Andy Ruiz. He wanted to exercise that clause in the contract that Eddie Hearn implemented in there right away. And he said that, and Rob McCracken, back to him, they made their mind up Sunday, and it wasn't even 24 hours. They were ready to get it in, and he outboxed a very dangerous fighter very easily. And he was very proud of the performance that Anthony Joshua, made that night. Also, he says Joshua trains all the time. He has some heavy hands, so he doesn't really want to be holding those pads like that. And he's fanatical about training, which I could see that. I think, that drive I wish people wish they had, wish they could go to the gym as much as some people. You see someone like, damn, I need to go to the gym. You know what I mean? You remind me I have to go to the gym. And he's a good role model to the people around him, especially, his fellow Brits, him along with Carl Froch, and he thinks that Pulev is next in line, right? So if Pulev is next in line, that's who they should focus on. And he thinks that Alexander Usyk has another fight coming before fighting Anthony Joshua, but he did say big fight. So that doesn't necessarily mean Usyk. That could mean Wilder. That could mean maybe Ortiz. That could mean, a rematch with Dillian White. That could mean that could mean a lot of things. But when you say a big fight, that's bigger than the Pulev fight. So someone that has to supersede Kubrat Pulev, because he, of course, is a mandatory. That's something that must need to be done, big or small. That's what he is. It's something that you cannot get around. Especially with having all those belts, he must do that. And Rob McCracken, he really pretty much knows Joshua, because he also made another valid point that Joshua has pretty much had the same people around him from beginning up till now. Okay, so it's a thing of consistency with Joshua, and it shows you with the same people they were able to do different things. A lot of times a fighter has certain coaches, and those coaches only teach you certain things, or the fighter is only limited and he can only do so many different things. Okay, so a lot of times it's easy to blame the trainer, but then you should really train the fighter. Let me give you an example, or blame the fighter. Let me give you a good example of that. Let's say Anthony Joshua in the rematch boxed well for 6 rounds, and in the 7th round, he started back being the old Joshua that was just trying to get Andy Ruiz out of there, right? And standing in front of him like he did and gets beat. Whose fault is that? Is that the trainer's fault? Or was that the fighter's fault? It was the fighter's fault. Why? Because the game plan was to box this guy 6 rounds. But in the 7th round, he decided, well, you know what? I'm tired of doing that. Personality, right? Personal choice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and try to get this guy out of here in 7 rounds. But then at that point, you're giving that guy what he wants, which Andy Ruiz wanted Joshua to stay stationary long enough to get hit, to catch him with that punch that he hurt him with in the 3rd fight. And the thing is about this fight, he never caught him with that punch again. Joshua kept that right hand up near that temple, near that soft spot, near that vulnerable spot, best to say. I wouldn't necessarily call it soft, but that vulnerable spot. And he boxed him all the way. So he stuck to the game plan. And I remember in between rounds, Rob McCracken was like, okay, you're getting a little bit too complacent, you know, you're getting too greedy, you know. And even in the first fight, I specifically heard him say, keep it long. Keep it long. Don't go in and try to engage in this fight, you know. So, again, you know, Rob McCracken, a lot of people, and it's funny, a lot of people were wanting Joshua to sack McCracken, right? And I don't think it's about sacking McCracken. I think it's more of adding what you already have. If you already have certain things that's got you to your point, you may need to add to it so someone can give you a better perspective. Because once you do, if you just fire Rob McCracken, then that means all that other stuff goes away with it. Then someone else is going to come in and retrain, attempt to retrain this guy. And this guy hardly knows what the hell's going on. He's starting over from fresh. It's like taking a cup full of water and emptying it and putting something else in there. So it's one of those things where you don't know what you had because what you had is gone. You're not practicing what you have, right? But Rob McCracken did verify that this fight, the next fight after Kubrat Pulev, and he also said about Pulev that all the fighters are dangerous. We know by now that, hey, every fight in the heavyweight division is a difficult fight. So that tells me that they're taking nothing for chance. They're leaving nothing up for chance because they're going to focus 100% on each and every person that gets in the ring. And that's the best thing to do. You know, that's why Floyd kept mentally focused and mentally strong. He shut down questions that people asked him about other fighters. No, I'm fighting this guy now. So we're talking about this guy. We're not talking about Pacquiao. Yeah, I'm fighting Cotto. I'm fighting Hatton. I'm fighting Robert Guerrero. I'm fighting Victor Ortiz. I'm fighting everyone else. And that person who I'm fighting, that's who you discuss. No one else. I'm mentally focused. That's how you train people around you not to sway you away from your focus. So it's a good tactic. But I know that's also like Rob McCracken, you can tell the pressure's gone. Yes, if you can tell, like, look, let me give you an example. He says, well, hey, you win some, you lose some. You know, Joshua lost and he came back and he won easily. Okay, so really what that means is, hey, you know, you do a good job. Some you're going to lose, some you're going to win. Which is before he didn't have those type of sayings. You know what I mean? That wasn't the speech to have. Now it is the speech to have because Joshua's lost. He's lost his first professional fight. Okay, so, you know, it's a lot off the shoulders. Now they can just focus on how to get better, how to move past that and keep getting better and better. You know, and form a specific game plan per fighter. With Andy Ruiz, they didn't know. They didn't have a specific game plan. They didn't know what they were dealing with, really. You know, all they seen was Andy Ruiz in a couple clips, maybe the night before, so Joshua claims, right? So they didn't know what the hell they were dealing with. So, because he had a type of style, like, yeah, it would be very dangerous for you to sit in front of a person that's, first of all, never went down, so he's not used to getting backed up at all. You know what I mean? And it even surprised Andy Ruiz that he got dropped the way he did, you know, because he kind of looked around, you know, he almost broke his arm trying to, you know, brace himself for the fall because he got knocked on his ass. It ain't like he got hit then fell. He got literally knocked on his ass by a punch. And then the thing is, it just shows you genetically the toughness that Andy Ruiz has. He has a beard, okay? But back to Joshua and McCracken, I think they're working on actual strategies for certain fighters now, you know? But at least they know who they're fighting. You know what I mean? And that's a big factor too. So since they know who they're fighting, they know who to focus on and nobody else. So that's a very good sign, you know, with Rob McCracken. But it is good, you know, a lot of the get rid of the sack McCracken, you know, it's went away. You don't hear a lot of that. You don't hear a lot of videos and people saying that now. You know, you did hear it before, and of course you heard it right after the fight, after his first loss. But since he did come back to win and he was able to overcome, you hear less of it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Rob McCracken and the itinerary of Anthony Joshua. Who do you think that big name or that big fight will be with? Of course, leave your comments below. Please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.